exciting. Hello guys. I hope the lighting is good, I hope the settings are right. Who knows, who can tell? Okay, let's just get started before I get too nervous and drop out and don't do this at all. So, welcome to my channel. Hello everyone. I'm very excited for you to be here. I don't know if you're watching this or if anyone's watching this, but I'm just gonna film this, put it up on the internet and see what happens. Welcome to those who are watching this. And I'm very excited to be showing you my sketchbook today. I'm gonna say the word excited a few more times during this video. Please bear with me. So if you haven't read the title of the video, yeah, that's what it's all about. My sketchbook, my raw, unfinished artwork, and also some finished artwork actually. My thought process behind the scenes, that's what a sketchbook is all about usually. But this is quite the unusual sketchbook, so I'm gonna get to that later. I'm gonna tell you more about it, but yes, first actually let me introduce myself, because I haven't ever uploaded anything here and you might not know me even though I am super famous. So who are you? So to those of you in the remote corners of the world who have not heard of me, I'm Franziska Frahm, a German illustrator. I'm 25 years old and I know no one can pronounce my name. It's very harsh and German. And that's why I came up with my username down here. It's also my channel's name, Kaspara, my Instagram handle as well. So if you want to see more of this, head on over there, check it out. And yeah. Now to this. It's a MOSSERY mixed media sketchbook. It has quite sturdy, above 300 GSM paper. It's, yeah, for different media like watercolor, gouache, colored pencils, everything you want to use in this, it's fine. It won't warp much. It's a lovely sketchbook. It's spiral bound. I'm going to tell you more about it now. So let's get to it. Woo! So let's get started, but before I jump into this, I just want to give a quick shout out to the people who did these cute little stickers, the front at the back, because they're not by me and I have to give credit where credit is due, of course. This is actually by an unknown artist because it's just by the online marketplace Society 6. You may know it or you may not, but yeah, that's where I got it from. And this is by Lee Alexson, I think that's how you say her last name. I'm so sorry, Lee. I've been following you since, well, a long time and I don't even know how to pronounce your name, your last name at least, so I'm very sorry for that. Yeah, Lee Alexson or Lee Alexson, however you may pronounce it. She's amazing, and this is a cute baby seal I got from her Etsy shop. And yes, that's by Christine Askeland. She's a Norwegian artist, I believe, yes. And she works mainly in gouache, and this is a kitty with a leaf in his mouth. And this is by a former fellow student of mine from university who gifted me this stag sticker, and her name is Alina Hilmer, and you can see her handle right down here. I'm gonna put the other guy's handles up on the screen. And yes, it says 5 in here because that's my old username. It will appear throughout this whole sketchbook, this name, just my old branding, my old identity. And now I changed it to Kaspara, so don't see, in case you're wondering. It says sketchbook of 5 and 5 in illustration here, and I started this on the 16th of April 2018 and finished on the 30th of April, again in April, that's pretty cool, 2021. So it took me like 3 years to fill this up. Yeah. Well, that's me. These are just the first pages. I didn't really draw anything on here because it's not a proper sketchbook page. I'm also going to blur out this part in case you're wondering. It shows my address and phone number, and yes, I don't necessarily want this on the internet. Yeah, that's a fun page. I haven't looked at this for ages, but these are my goals I set for myself before starting the sketchbook, and it's so fun to go back into this now and read it and then see if I achieved my goals in the long run. So I said, be less afraid of trying, try different color schemes, just start drawing. Yes, well, I was very forceful back then, just start drawing. Well, it's true. Try gouache. Failure can be good sometimes, as a reminder. Well, it's true. Still true. And try ink and metallic paint. Grow more confidence in your art. These are very vague goals, like grow more confidence in your art. Well, I'm trying. Self-portraits, go to the zoo and sketch. Did I do that? I don't actually remember. Watch videos on YouTube about art. I definitely did that a lot. Sketch random stuff in with tape and guilty pleasure drawings. Did those. So these are inspirational pages for myself. I just, you know, printed stuff out that I found on the internet and glued it in here to remind me of what I wanted to work on or what inspires me. And these are all not by me, just a little disclaimer. This is concept art, or well, some art from the movie Wolfwalkers by the Irish animation studio Cartoon Saloon, which I absolutely adore. Their style is something else. It's really wonderful and magical. And they do these nice traditional backgrounds. This is Disney concept art, just a picture of a mountain hare, Hufflepuff inspired outfit, because my Hogwarts house is Hufflepuff, and an ink painting by Fran Nerd. You probably all know her. She's pretty famous on Instagram and YouTube, and she's just one of the most amazing artists out there and illustrators. And yes, I've been following her since a while. So Book of Kells art, more Disney background art, otters, because I love otters. And this is by Denise Sills. I think she's a US-based artist, and she does these amazing ink paintings with metallic effects. So I reminded myself that I wanted to do that by sticking it in here. And this is where the fun begins, guys. So yeah, now let's go. This is my first page with gouache, or well, gouache and color pencil. And I painted Mavis from Hotel Transylvania in her bat form, because she can transform from human / vampire to bat. And yes, I worked with colored pencil on top. If you can see it here, put some texture on. I wasn't quite satisfied with the first gouache result, but what can you do? And that's just a natural bat from a photo reference. And these are some hares and rabbits. Some of my favorite animals, so I just tried to learn something about their anatomy and about their body language, I guess. And these cute little rabbits were sitting outside of my building that I used to live in when I studied at university, so that's why I initially set out to sketch them. I really like this vibrant color scheme. This is dedicated to, well, Dia de los Muertos, as it says, the Day of the Dead in Mexico, but specifically Disney Coco, the movie that I love, well, almost above all else. I love it so much, I cry every time, but there are more tears of joy than tears of pain, if you know what I mean. No, but I really, really like this movie. I really recommend you to watch it if you haven't seen it yet. And this is Miguel, the main character. These are some other characters from the world of the dead. He goes to visit. And I'm just going to read this really quickly. I'm not going to spend so much time on every single spread in here, but I think this is an important message and I just want to share it with you. Mexico is one of the many cultures in the world that ritualize the remembrance of loved ones who have passed on. But their annual celebration of Dia de los Muertos is unique in its joyful celebration filled with color, music, festivities, and life. The core of the celebration is to remember those who came before us. It's imperative to pass along their stories in order to keep their memories alive. From Art of Coco. That's the art book that Disney is selling. So yes, I love it. That's a swan page. I just covered this page in paint because the Copic marker bled through, and put some colored pencil on top in silver for a special effect. And that's an ink painting done in colored inks for Mermaid. Caressing is one, and another one right here. That's the stuff made of fantasies, I tell you, because you can't caress a swan, they're so aggressive. They will break your arm with a beat of their wing, right? Now, kidding aside, this is a page dedicated to my dogs. These are our Jack Russell Terriers, they're actually our family dogs. I don't have dogs with me right here, my one-person flat. I'm not allowed to have pets here, but, well, actually, this little guy had to be put to sleep this year. He's not alive anymore. His name was George, and this is Gina. I love this boy very much. He was my soulmate, but, you know, even soulmates go sometimes, leave you sometimes. And he, well, I always called him my little bear, so I put this bear drawing in here. And he had this beautiful red hat and off-white fur, and she's like really white and grey and black, and yeah, we still have her. So, female Jack Russell Terrier, and yeah. Oh, and I put some Miyazaki doodles in here from the Ghibli movies, just for fun. Yes, so we went on a sketching trip to Italy at university. There was a special class where we went to the region of Tuscany, and we made a magazine about it in the end, and every student sketched a few things, and then, yeah, we just... Oh, yeah, no, that's the right way. Yeah, we just made some fun pages from it. This is actually the most sketchbooky part of my sketchbook, because I usually go overboard and do a lot of finished paintings, and they end up looking less sketchy than this. So I think I really like those. It's an olive tree, a fellow student of mine, some flowers found on the ground at the place we were staying. It was called Podere Casetta, and that was in Siena. There's an old clock in the tower, Torre del Mangia in Siena as well, at the Piazza del Campo, and it's all very wobbly and not neat, but I like that about it, because that's actual sketchbook character. That was the bridge in Florence, the Ponte Vecchio, and another fellow student of mine, very nice person, and just like a lantern I found. I always like these details in Italy, these floral, ancient details in buildings, so I draw them a lot. That's another nice road I discovered, Via Ricciarelli, yes, in Volterra. And I just did some random sketches here. There wasn't actually a cat, and obviously not a pirate cat or dog either, but I just did some fun little doodles in between my Italian experience doodles. I actually ate that meal and tartufo as dessert, so that's documenting reality, and that isn't. It says yo-ho. For no apparent reason. Sometimes I do figure drawing as well, not very often. I should do it more often, but I mean, this was like in 2018, so I'm actually a bit better than that now, but that was my standard back then. And yes, these are obviously Avatar inspired, like Avatar The Last Airbender and Legend of Korra. That's an earthbender, and it's a waterbender. These are the cats of Suzanne. Her Instagram handle is Swaglin. You can see it right down here. She has these amazing cats, Melvin and Milo, and I just love them, so I drew them in my sketchbook with colored pencil and biro pen. I like the texture of colored pencil a lot, so these were fun to do, and yeah, go check out her Instagram. She's a cool photographer. These are some more gouache studies. Actually, they were done very far apart, because this was done in 2018 and this was done quite recently, well, in 2020. But I just glued them in together because I thought they would make a nice spread. And they're both gouache experiments. And hey, I did set out to do self-portraits in a sketchbook, and that's what I did, so good on me. That's me with my dogs, George and Gina, when George was still alive, obviously. And yes, that's Pantalaimon from the His Dark Materials trilogy by Philip Pullman. He's Lyra Belacqua's demon, so her animal soul. Demon doesn't mean demon from hell, it means, you know, your soul walking beside you. And this is Sitagat, the City in the Sky. I mean, if you've read the books, this will make sense to you. If you didn't, then it won't, but yes. Another self-portrait, actually. This one I did for my YouTube channel and my Instagram. I wanted to create a new icon, and yes, I sketched around a bit here and did some color experiments. Yes, so May favorites. It's always a fun way to fill your sketchbooks, to draw your favorite things you just got or saw or whatever. So yeah, I actually got this very lovely gemstone at a market in my old hometown, so I drew this. I still have it here, so I'm showing you, and yeah, the rest is pretty obvious. Who doesn't like Netflix, right? I spent a lot of time on there. And oh my god, this cute snake, I found this online. I've forgotten the name of this particular species of snake, but it was just the tiniest, most adorable serpent I ever saw. I don't like serpents, but this one, God, guys, I love it. And this was an outfit of the day. I hate the drawing. I love the outfit. That's how it is. This was a cloud watching exercise. I don't know if you're familiar with this term, but you can do it with clouds, you can do it with random blobs. The idea is that you look at something quite random and see a certain shape in it, because the human mind or eye is kind of prone to try and make sense of everything we see. So I did random blobs, and then I saw something in them, and I grabbed the pen and made it visual to everyone else who's seeing this. Like, this was once just a random blob, now it's a dragon, and you can see what it is now, and you wouldn't see it as anything else now that you see this, which is kind of fun. I should have taken a before and after picture. So it's always a good way to fill a sketchbook spread as well, if you don't know what else to draw and something cool emerges. And yes, I like the skull. It's again a little like the Dia de los Muertos style, and I'm all for that. That was done for the Italy magazine again. It's a Renaissance statue, but it's me as a statue with a swallow in my hand. So I decided to fill this other page. I just printed this out and glued it in. So I thought, why not sketch more swallows, you know? And then I did that. They're from Google reference pictures. And I really like this spread. Also this color scheme that I came back to later. That's a quite random page. That's just a drawing of a mouse with a kitchen machine and some dough spilling out. It's cute and random. And this is a Harry Potter themed drawing. As you can see, I did the sorting test at Pottermore and I got a Dolphin Patronus, usually a Hufflepuff or Ravenclaw. I actually did the test a few times just to be sure, you know. And yeah, I'm a Hufflepuff. I identify as a Hufflepuff. And my wand on Pottermore was ebony, that was the wood, unicorn hair core, slightly springy, flexibility, and 10 3/4 inches long it was. So ebony is a dark wood, so it's like a black one, but yeah. And I decided I would have a pet owl if I ever went to Hogwarts, so I drew that. Oh yeah, sometimes I like to do screenshot studies of movies I like. I love Kung Fu Panda. It makes me laugh so hard every time, and the sceneries are so beautiful. So I decided to try out gouache again and experiment with that one. And I did the palace where the Furious Five always train, the scene where Oogway gives Poe some life advice and then dissolves into flower petals and basically dies. It's sad and also beautiful to watch. And this scene is in the grove, or the mountain cave where Master Shifu trains Poe. And you can see on this one I spent like 10 minutes maybe. This one like half an hour, and this one 3/4 of an hour to an hour, and you can see the difference in detail, and I have gotten better. So yeah, I really like that development. And this is something I got at a Chinese restaurant when we went out to eat. It's a plum wine packaging, and it goes really nicely with this page, so I just glued it in. That's a Christmas page. I just put this in here to keep the colored pencil from smudging. That was our Christmas tree. I use this quite unusual color scheme. It's not that Christmassy, but I really liked trying out things with colored pencils. And yes, I also did a drawing of a pin I got. It's this one by Kim Smith. She's a Canadian illustrator. Put her handle up here again. It's Kim Illustration on Instagram, and I just drew her pin in my style. Oh, that's one of my favorite spreads in the sketchbook, and also it seems to be a fan favorite on Instagram. So obviously everyone likes the Ghibli movies, or Ghibli, still don't know how to pronounce it. I just did screenshot studies from the movies. I did not come up with these. Disclaimer again, they're from the Miyazaki movies and I just copied them for practice. But I think this cloud turned out really well, and by this time, so this was done this year, 2021, I've really gotten the hang of gouache, I think. This one is a photo study I did. I found this photo on Instagram with a very talented photographer. James Lloyd Cole is his name, yes, you might know him. And he did this beautiful photography of a castle in Scotland. It's all pink and fantastical. I didn't even know something like this existed, but I just thought it marvelous, and yes, I painted it for practice in my style. And people love this one. It's also one of my business cards now. Wait, I'm going to show you. See, that's the mini version in my business card. And that's the back. This was done at the castle grounds at Sanssouci Park here in Potsdam, where I live. The Sanssouci castle is world famous. It was built by Frederick II, the Prussian king, and well, he had a lot of things built in the Italian style. So a lot of buildings in this city look like they're from Italy, and sometimes I feel like I traveled without entering a plane or anything, because yeah, even the statues look like old Italian Renaissance statues. And so does this girl, Flora. The statue is called Flora, it's a flower maiden, and yes, I did some live sketching at the park last autumn. This is a page about Kiki's delivery service. Love the scene with the seagulls where she's flying on her broom. It's so magnificent, I don't know. And whenever I watch that movie, I'm craving pancakes, like I do now. I don't know about you, but... And yes, this is a spread with some animal characters I really like. This was done in watercolors and this was done in colored inks. They do look very similar, but the techniques are quite different when you actually apply the paint to the pages, because you can always lift up watercolors again, kinda, but you can't lift off these permanent inks of the paper once they dried. So it's very interesting to see these next to each other, but know that you need to work so very differently. This one was just an outfit of the day, like I wore that the day I drew it, and that's just a raccoon wearing my outfit for fun. And this one was a Draw This in Your Style on Instagram I joined by a Swedish illustrator, and she designed this mouse character in an overall with apples on it, very cute. I really wanted to join, so I did that. This is a fun page in colored pencils. I did this in autumn as well. It's a sleepy raccoon, very grumpy raccoon, an owl, and a smiling fox. This one is a people's favorite as well. He looks so content in his life and his situation. People love this guy, and so do I guess. Change of scenery indeed. This could be like a children's book's illustration. It's a Valentine spread. Love bugs, as you can see, ants and bugs, ladybugs falling in love. Well, that's a moth. And he says, I proclaim my love. And this one is a bit cross-eyed, but I love this little guy. Another colored ink page. Yes, hares and a Scottish landscape. This was for my YouTube intro. I tried to plan it out and see what colors I could use and where I should put my writing and all that before I animate it. And I still haven't quite finished my intro, which is why you haven't seen any intro in the beginning of this video. I still need to figure some stuff out, but I'm pretty far in the process, so we're good. And this was my planning page for that. Oh yeah, now we're getting to a very exciting part of my sketchbook. The Mermaid project. I joined Mermaid for the first time this year, and I went to the castle grounds. I sketched some of the statues I liked, and I wanted to make mermaid characters based on the statues. So I first went to the Chinese tea house, which is one of the lovely buildings in the Sanssouci castle grounds. And this was like a lady playing ukulele or something, and yeah, I made a mermaid out of her. And then I sketched this fisherman dude and also added a fishtail, and yeah, tried out some new acrylic paints, just some experimenting. And this is actually very unusual for me. I never plan out my artwork like this, so it's so special, guys. I did this little thumbnail, sketches and paintings, colored inks, and yes, I put together some colored pencil color schemes just to see what I liked. And there's another spread right here. So that's my whole project. In the beginning I wanted to do 10 paintings. In the end I did only 9, but they took me ages and they're very detailed, so I'm still proud of myself for finishing Mermaid at all and working on it the whole month of May. And yes, I'm going to show you the finals, not the finals, the final outcomes, I mean. Because it's very interesting to see how they turned out in the end, and the initial sketch, and yeah, it's a final painting, for example. I really like how the colors turned out. They're very vibrant. These colored inks by Aurora and Klingner are my all-time favorites. And yeah, for example, this is the mother right here with her 2 boys. And if you want to see the whole process of these, you can go to my Instagram and look at the little reels and process videos I did and post it on there, because it's really exciting to see how they came along and what statues they're actually based on. And yeah, that's the companion piece, for example. The companion is this little sheep with a fishtail. It kind of looks like a huge shrimp, which is cute. It's also this guy right here. I like this one. Sometimes random sketches and artworks are the best. This is, well, Wolfwalkers inspired. After I watched Wolfwalkers for the first time, love it. And I got my Muji gel pens and I wanted to try them out. I don't know if it's my favorite thing to draw with, but I'm still glad I did it and gave it a shot. It's a very messy page. I like this little dude, the bear with the honey pot. He has some personality and it's entirely my own doing, so yes. Oh, and I got not Copic markers, but alcohol markers by Winsor & Newton, that's right. And I got these pastel hues that went really well together, so I wanted to make a page with those. And yes, I used colored pencil on top, and I really like how this one turned out. And these fun poodles and Dalmatians, they really go well together. I think I'm gonna definitely go back to this color scheme in the future. Here I planned my tarot card deck for university. It was an extinction themed tarot card deck. I mean, that sounds very tragic, but extinction is tragic. So yeah, I just want to remind people of the beauty of these creatures and how worthy of protection they are. That was mainly the focus of my project. And this is the final outcome, for example. I didn't do a whole deck, not even 4 cards, just 3. And it ended up being the tiger, the bee, and otters. The otters are right here. Yes, and I just took the titles of usual tarot cards, like the lovers, and I put in the lost lovers, like, yes, and the king is the king of the jungle, aka the tiger, and the queen is the queen of prosperity, so the bee, because without bees there's so much food we wouldn't have, and no honey and nothing anymore. So yeah, we live a more prosperous life indeed when bees are still around. So I did these 3 and I think they go really nicely together. And someday I'm probably gonna finish it, but for now that was enough for the class project for university. It was a lot of work, so I'm still very proud of this one. This is acrylic gouache. I did some foxes because I wanted to try this technique that everyone's been speaking about lately, and I do like it. There's a lot of texture to it. Now you can see properly. All the texture. You can feel it. Yeah. And I like how this looks like a stamp. This is a fox, also an acrylic gouache. Looks more like a wolf. And here I'm just trying out some paints, or like liquid watercolor in this case. These are all the acrylic gouache tones I got. Some more planning for tarot cards. Please don't mind that horrible bee. I know bees don't look like that at all, but I drew this from my mind without reference, and ignore her. So we are already at the end, actually, guys. This is another page where I tried out some paints. I always like to try them out first on the paper I'm going to use them on, because then I can see how they actually appear and how I'm going to use them in the correct way. And yes, want to have a look at this pocket? You do, don't you? I mean, I'm going to show you anyway, even though you don't want to see this, maybe. Because it's just part of the sketchbook tour. So I put in a lot of inspirational stuff in here, stuff I wanted to keep. For example, like old business cards. That's my old business card. See, that's how the self-portrait turned out, actually. And it ended up being my business card. That's the place we stayed at in Italy. Give her a call if you want to stay there too. maybe not now, but in the future. And that's another old business card of mine with my old logo I did at university. A ticket from Heathrow Airport. A watercolor mini painting of some ash tree leaves and berries. Trying out inks. I love these for line art, and they're permanent as well, so you can go over them with watercolors and they don't smudge. That's from China. My mother used to collect these as a kid, and now she gave some old, they're called Lackbilder in German, but yeah, she gave these to me. And now I collect them. They're super weird, but also kind of cool. This is by Franziska again. Sending much love to her. That's when I ordered something from her shop. That's when I got it. Another great illustrator, Rahat Kaduji. I hope I'm saying her name right. She's a UK illustrator, UK based. Very cool. It's from her shop. That's actually by me. It's a Slytherin bookmark. As you can see, I did used to sell these online in my Etsy shop back in 2017 and 2018, or actually still up to 2019 obviously. But then Warner Bros contacted me and they said, well, you can't sell these anymore, you infringed our copyright, please take the products down. And I was like, no, they were my best sellers, and why are you, keeping me from selling them, and all these other people can freely sell them on Etsy, like Harry Potter fan art is a big thing. And they were like, well, we're working on that, you were just the first person we found today. And I was like, okay, great. So since then they've been lying around and I don't know what to do with them actually. Party animal, why did I keep this? I'm not a party animal. Oh, because of the tiger. I love the design of this tiger, the body shape, isn't it amazing? Just some MOSSERY ruler, empty piece of paper. Oh, a sticker sheet I did. Yes, I produced these at university when I had access to the plotters, the sticker cutting machines. And I did some sticker designs for fun. A quote from a song by Jason Mraz, we're just one big family and it's our godforsaken right to be loved, loved, loved. Very right. This is by Lee Alexson again. Lee Alexson, maybe. Some cakes she painted. And yeah, that's it. Okay, let's put it all back in. Okay, now I'm closing this. Oh, but I wanted to show you this last sticker I put in here. It's from a restaurant in Berlin. And it says, save the planet. It's the only one with beer. Well, that's true, but there are plenty other reasons to save this planet. Just saying. I just found it kind of funny, but yeah. Cool, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching this far. Woo! So yes, this marks the end of this video. I hope you liked it. If you did, please leave a thumbs up or maybe a comment down below. I'd be so happy about that. Thank you for watching and see you next time, maybe. Goodbye from my sketchbook as well.